How's it going, everybody? I'm your host, Wonderstruck, and welcome back to my kitchen. As you can tell by the title, we're going to be reading another set of entitled parents stories since it received such great feedback. Honestly, I can't thank y'all enough for that. It really means like the world to me. To any new subscribers, welcome to the channel, and to everybody else, welcome back. It's fantastic to have you here. So while I'm making dinner, you just sit back, relax, and enjoy a couple of stories. If you're like me and grew up playing Pokemon, then you probably are aware of how valuable Pokemon cards were and are to younger kids. I remember it used to be such a big deal at my elementary school. We used to trade cards, and the teachers had a big policy in which we could not trade with each other, so we would basically have like these underground Pokemon deals where we would like be at lunch, look for teachers, and then trade them under the table. Anyways, the story we're going to be covering today is an entitled parent that wants to take a kid's Pokemon card claiming it's their daughter's, but really it's the storyteller's brother. Let's get right into it. Entitled kid tries to take my younger brother's Pokemon cards with approval from entitled parents.
So, straight into it, the local comic book store holds a Pokemon Day the last Saturday of every month. You could battle other Pokemon trading card game players that came, and this was the first one I actually managed to get to. It was fairly fun to begin with, since the owner, who's also a friend of my mom's, asked me to sort of be the teacher to the kids who didn't know how to play. I taught a couple kids how to play, had a friendly battle, and enjoyed myself. As I was packing up my homebrewed deck after a long battle, shuffling it like I always did, I hear my younger brother from across the room. He's speaking in sort of a desperate tone of voice. He's only 8, so my mind jumps straight to he's either overreacting over a loss or getting bullied or something. Being the overprotective sister I am, I walk over to him to see that an entitled kid is trying to steal one of his favorite cards, a Poison Delta Typhlosion, given to him by his best friend, who also happened to be one of my friend's brothers. It was a rather old and I believe rare card, so he treasured it. "Hey, what's going on over here? This isn't your card, it's my brother's," I say to the entitled kid. The entitled kid, a girl, has to be only around 6 or 7, and I see her repeatedly flipping my brother off. I wonder who this toxic child could belong to. "Whoever's the parent of the little girl wearing a zebra-striped shirt needs to come contain their child," I call out. I try to split the two up, and being much older than the entitled kid, I managed to free the Typhlosion from her grasp, thankfully not damaging it more than it had previously been, and return it to my brother. The entitled kid's parents rush over.
"What's wrong?"
The entitled kid's dad asks, putting his phone in his pocket. "Your little girl was trying to steal my brother's Pokemon card. Sorry if I seem rude, but you need to contain your child," I explain. My brother confirms this by saying, "Yeah, she almost ripped it." I cannot confirm or deny if he was exaggerating or not. To my surprise, the mom simply says this: "So what? It's just a card. He shouldn't care if my daughter wants it. It's already in a bad shape and my daughter would take better care of it than him." "Miss, your child was flipping my brother off." "That's a problem," I shot back. She simply tried to solidify her logic with, "The cards are meant to be traded anyways, that's the whole point of the game." I should probably mention now that we were the last people left in the store and my mom was at Walmart grabbing some stuff for the owner, who was in the back at the moment. I was left alone with his family. But anyways, yes, trading, as in exchanging cards, not giving them to others on their whim. On top of that, if you want that particular card for your child, it would be a pretty hefty price, since it's a fairly rare card, I believe. I responded, keeping my cool. The mother started to raise her voice, which attracted the store's owner. The father tried to explain to him that my brother took her daughter's card. Asking to see the card, we lucked out since my bro brought that particular card every time he came to play, so the owner could confirm that was his card. The father and mother started to yell. The three argued for around 5 minutes until my mom got back. I explained the situation to her and she entered the ring as well. This went on for about 20 minutes. The entitled parents finally gave up, leaving with their kid who had been smearing fingerprints all over the display window at the front. We all left unharmed, and I'm slightly scared for the next Pokemon Day, but ready to fight again if that family turns up. Now this would be a problem. The parents obviously don't understand the concept of it, and to lie and just be like, "Oh, it was my kid's," is kind of poor on the parents' part. That's being very immature. I know if I was a kid and this happened, even to my more damaged cards, I had this really nice electric Gyarados and it got put in the washing machine. It looks like crap, but I still love it and cherish it because it was really cool to me as a kid. So to this kid, it was probably an awful experience that someone was trying to take his little card that he had. Moving on to our next story.
Entitled mom steals my Xbox, gets arrested. "Heard about this sub on YouTube and I just had to post this. About a year ago, my parents were selling the house, and I was over visiting before they moved. They decided they'd have an open house event so people could come see it for themselves. I brought my Xbox, a copy of Dark Souls, and a medium-sized TV to play it on so my parents could still use the one in the living room. The open house starts and families arrive. They all seem pretty nice and admissible, except for one. Like a dark shade of the night, always looming over the horizon wherever you go, an entitled parent and the hellspawn children. I didn't think much of them at first, and they seemed kinda like everyone else there, but that was before they revealed themselves. Obviously, as it was an open house, people came into the room I was playing video games in, but they didn't bother me. Mostly just asking questions I could answer without making eye contact. But then the child walks in. C is gonna be child, and entitled parent is gonna be Ip.
What you playing?
I assume he was just bored and looking for someone to pester. It's called Dark Souls.
Can I play it?
I mean, you can try, but it's really hard. I explained the situation to the guy I was playing with online and disconnected so I can make him a save file. So, who do you want to be? You could be a knight, a wizard, a pyromech.
I want to be a knight.
Cool, everything seems fine so far. I give him the controller so he can play after telling him how to move and interact with objects. He gets the hang of it pretty quickly, and I just wait until he gets to the first boss. Now, it's easy to understand why it's hilarious watching a first-time player play a game you play a lot. Not only is it seeing someone lose a lot to something that's easy to you, but you also see a bit of yourself in them too. He dies to him about 4 times, and I'm trying really hard not to laugh, but on his 5th death, I can't hold it anymore. I laugh out loud, and then I realize what he must be feeling. I stop as quickly as I can, but the damage has already been done, or at least that's what I thought.
This is hard.
Yeah, you're dying a lot.
But it's also kind of fun.
Yeah, when you get good at it, it's even more fun.
Hold on, I have to go ask my mom something.
Okay, so he goes, asks his mom, and I wait. About a minute later, he comes back with his mom.
Hi, it seems you've been keeping my son entertained here.
Yeah, things like these can be pretty boring.
Well, he's really having fun with the game you let him play, and I was wondering if we could bring it home with us.
Like if you could have it?
Yes.
Well, do you have an Xbox?
No, but will you still let us have it?
Sorry, but no, this Xbox was a gift to me.
From what?
Christmas.
Of what year?
2012.
Well, you have a job. Can you just get another one?
I mean, theoretically, I could get another one if I saved up, but all the progress I've made wouldn't carry over. I'd also lose extra content that I paid for.
But C's been getting such good grades lately, and I wanted to get him something nice.
Well, Xbox of this model, it was a 360, aren't very expensive, so I think you could find the game easily on Amazon or something.
We wanted this one.
Well, you can't have it.
We're gonna take it home with us. C is such a good boy.
Does this actually work? Like, you actually get free stuff doing this?
It doesn't matter. Give us the game system.
No.
Alrighty then.
They leave and head back out to the living room. I forget about the whole thing and keep playing. About half an hour later, I have to use the bathroom. When I get back, the Xbox is missing. Big surprise. I call the police and tell them that my Xbox is stolen by a mother and or son, and I describe them in detail. They catch them about an hour later, and the mom gets arrested. Needless to say, don't steal.
I don't want to question the legitimacy of this post. I mean, it could have happened, but I know if someone came into my house and was like, give me your PlayStation, I'd be like, get the heck out of here. I'm not gonna give you my console that I paid for, and all the games that I paid for as well. Like, if you really want one, just go get one. I don't care what your child has. Whenever you're in someone's house, please make sure to watch over the stuff, and if you have a kid with you, definitely make sure that they're being attended to and they're not harming other people's stuff. And if they do, make sure you teach them that it's not okay. My first and, hopefully, only service dog confrontation. When I found out my best friend of many years needed a service dog, I researched a lot about it. I always came across stories and videos of people getting confronted for having a service dog with them, but thought that it was something I'd never experienced until it happened to me. My best friend has an 8-year-old specially trained Swiss Shepherd. They're big, white, fluffy dogs with big ears. Named Ezra. He's had Ezra since he was 17. He's now 19, after his heart condition got worse. Ezra gives my best friend freedom he would not have without him, and assures him that if he was to have a heart complication, he would be able to get help. Ezra is specially trained in case of emergency. My best friend, who I'll be referring to as Pick, was at the cafe we always meet up at because his auntie owns it. His classes ended early that day, so he had a lot of time to catch up on work until I got there from my classes. The cafe is about 15 minutes away from the local primary school, and it's the closest one to it. Ezra was sitting underneath Pick's chair with his vest on. Pick had his laptop open and was finishing a digital art he was going to submit the next day when a woman and 2 kids walked in. The cafe was virtually empty, so Pick noticed them and looked up.
The younger looking kid seemed very uncomfortable after seeing Ezra and went and tugged his mom's hand and was telling her something. After a couple of minutes, Pick was interrupted by a chair scraping across the ground and looked up to see the mother, I will refer to her as M from now on, coming over his way. When she got to his table, she said something along the lines of,
May you please remove your dog from here? It's scaring my son.
To that, Pick said,
I'm sorry, he is a service dog and has to stay with me at all times.
M seemed agitated and not willing to back down and snapped,
If he was a real service dog, he would not be underneath your chair acting scared.
Pick, who was always very wary of having Ezra with him as a service dog, are not as common in Australia as in other countries. He always carries around verification papers, and whenever Ezra is working or in a public place, he wears his red service dog vest. Pick proceeds to offer to show the M the papers to prove that Ezra is a real service dog, but she cuts him off with,
Why do you even need a dog?
This was always a touchy subject as Pick was very sick prior to getting Ezra, and it went as far as him having to get open heart surgery. Anyone who has a working dog would be uncomfortable with that question. Pick doesn't know what to say but sees the cashier disappearing into the back room. We are regular customers and the employees know that Pick is the owner's nephew, so seeing this she must have gone and grabbed Pick's auntie. His aunt came out and explained what Pick had said and offered to seat the M outside, to which she declined, paid and left, not even waiting for the food she ordered. I got there a quarter of an hour later and Pick told me what happened. He seemed shaken by it as everyone has always been so nice to him about Ezra. Since this has happened, his aunt has offered to ban the woman, she's really overprotective, from the cafe because the M is a regular. Pick has said no because he's embarrassed by it and wouldn't want to upset the M further. This happened a month or two ago and hopefully will not happen again. If your child is scared of dogs and someone has a dog in a public place, it is not supposed to be, and it is not a working dog, I get asking the person to move the dog. Service dogs are seriously important to people who need them. You wouldn't take a blind person's dog away from them, so why does someone with a heart condition need to be harassed for having their fully official dog with them? If your child is scared of a working dog, then please sit away from it or go to another location instead of confronting the owner. The owner's safety and health should come before your hygienic standards or child's fear. I think this is very ridiculous. Like, there's some parents that get so wrapped up with their kid that they think like, oh, the entire world has to be pushed away for the safety of my kid. Like, if your kid is scared, then go somewhere else. Not only was he there first, but it's a service dog, and no one's just gonna fake owning a service dog. That is actually, honestly, the amount of entitlement within that is kind of disgusting. I lost my bike as a kid because of an entitled parent. A little background here. I was 9 or 10 when this happened. I was a quiet kid and usually let people push me around. I don't have this problem anymore though. I was riding my bike to a neighbor's park alone because I was trying to get out more. When I arrived at the park, I saw a parent and his son. Didn't think anything of them at the time. I got closer to the park and then got off my bike and laid it there. I started climbing in the playground equipment when I noticed a kid staring at my bike. Entitlement begins.
Mommy, I want the bike. It has Ninja Turtles on it.
It did have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on it, don't judge. I got off the equipment and then went over to my bike where the kid was. It's my bike, I said. The EP, entitled parent, walks up and says,
You wouldn't mind if my son could use this for a while?
No, I wouldn't mind, I said. Bad decision. I watched the kid play with it for a while, but it's getting late. Can I have my bike back now? I yelled at him because he was kind of far away. He said something to his mom and then the mom came up to me and said,
Well, I'm sure he deserves the bike more than you. I'm sure he can keep it.
I was confused. I didn't know how the world worked, so I simply said, okay, and then let them take it home. I was a kid and had to explain this to my parents. They were furious.
It is very clear that the mom in this situation major advantage of this kid. She saw the opportunity to get a free bike for her kid and she just straight up scammed this kid, dude. That's really sad. Like, I don't understand how you can be a grown adult and just feel like this is an okay thing to do. If you do believe this is an okay thing to do, then A, I don't think you should be having kids, and B, I think you need some serious help if you have the mentality of basically a child.
Oh, what is going on everybody? Totally didn't place this camera here like last time. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching the video, it really does mean a lot. The last video back there kind of exploded, so I really kind of owe that all to you. Thank you again so much for all the support and welcome to any new subscriber, it really does mean a lot to me. I can't wait to put out more videos like this, so I really do hope you stick around, and I hope you enjoyed the video today, so I won't keep you any further and have a wonderful day. Bye.